Hello and welcome to This Is Just Ross and Chris chatting about Scottish property. Today in particular we're going to talk about the Fair Rents Bill, which is going through Scottish Parliament just now. It's in consultation and that consultation closes on the 7th of December, so quite soon, and we thought the timing would be good to highlight this just now and talk about rents in general potentially. But Ross, can you talk us through the bill that's getting examined just now?
Yeah, I'll talk you through a little bit of the most interesting aspects of it. So it was raised by, I think it was raised by a Labour MSP, and they are looking to make sure that rents are linked to the Consumer Price Index, the CPI. What the suggestion is that they're looking for rents not to be raised above 1% above the CPI. So that would obviously have an impact across Scotland and making sure tenants pay a fair rent and limit the rent increases that landlords can put on. And this would be for new and existing PRTs. It would also allow the tenant to challenge the rents based on various factors within their property, how energy efficient the property was, or the condition of the current condition of the property.
Well, I've got a quick question. This, 1% above the CPI, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
What is the CPI index? Probably is about 2 or 3%. Inflation is roughly 2 or 3%. Is it normally or something?
Yeah, we'll post a link underneath this video to be precise at this moment in time of what is. We'll also post a link to the consultation. So if you've got an interest in this, then jump on it, give them the feedback.
I was definitely overstretching there, is what you're saying, in terms of trying to work it out. But if it's a 500, and I don't know if you're going to mention a report, I think, as well. And I'm interested maybe if we know anything about what the average rent is across the whole of Scotland and what 1% above CPI might mean as an annual increase off that average rent. And even if you just say that the rent is £500 per month, 4% increase on that. But anyway, it's interesting to sort of test the theory out and see how it might affect rents in actual fact.
Yeah, so that report you mentioned was a report that the Scottish Government issued last week. It was a PRS stats report covering the period 2010 to 2020, so a 10-year period, monitoring the size of the PRS, what the average rents were for 1, 2, 3 bedroom properties, etc., across Scotland. So giving the picture of what the rental prices were. It was interesting, some of the stats that we've sort of touched on before, because we did a bit of research on this last year about the PRS. So some of the stats that were sort of familiar to us that have been borrowed from other bits of research that have been conducted over the last couple of years. In 1999, the PRS was 120,000 properties, and at this moment in time, it's about 340,000 properties. So a big jump over the last 20 years, really, on the PRS. But it has gone down. So they sort of peaked around 2016, where it was about 370,000 properties. Yeah. So the PRS is shrinking a little bit. Which is probably quite a few factors involved in that. But the number of households that are currently in the PRS is 2.5 million households are currently in the private rental sector.
It's a very, very important part of Scotland's housing. I mean, is it?
It is. It's about 15% of
15,
Scottish.
Yeah, it's 15%. Yeah, my memory of it as well.
Yeah,
so a big chunk, and the landlords that own these properties, they're important. The private renter sector is an important thing. So just a quick note there. Let's say it was, a 3 or 4% increase on a £500 rent, then you're talking £15 to £20 would be the increase. And we've got a fair bit of experience talking to landlords and people in general about whether or not they should increase rents during tenancies. There's a body of opinion that says that you should, if you've got a good tenant, you don't increase the rent, and then there's other ones that say you should do it as a matter of course every year. And you know, I can see an argument for both of those sides, really, to be honest. And it's, if you're putting it up by £10 to £15 per year, I guess it would add up to quite a lot over 5 years' time. But
yeah, the report highlights the biggest increases of the last 10 years in rents are in the Lothian and Greater Glasgow areas, which is no surprise.
Yeah.
That you've seen the biggest increases in rental. Do you know what the most common property in the PRS is?
A flat.
A flat. Well, what size of flat?
A 2-bedroom flat.
It's a 2-bedroom flat. Yeah.
That's it. Did I get it right? That was not rehearsed, but anyway.
The two bedroom properties make up about 50% of the PRS, so the households in the PRS. So that's.
Do you share a link to this report? That's pretty. That'd be good to see that report.
Yep.
I think that might do us, Ross. I know there's maybe more we can talk about, but you know, the Fair Rents Bill. We're going to put a link to it on this. I think it's just important that landlords, property investors, anybody interested in the PRS, Scottish PRS that is, should have a look at it. Anything else to say, Ross?
That's it. There's so much data and so much stats. So if you do like your stats, you know, jump on the report, have a look at it, and make sure if you've got an interest, and make sure you comment on the on that consultation. That's what it's there for. If you're a landlord, if you're a tenant, you might want to you comment on that.
Thank you very much, guys. That's all from me.
Thanks, Chris.